Hi, today I want to explore this really interesting function using GeoGebra. We have down here f of x equals the quantity 1 minus e raised to the 1/2 minus x power. All of that is multiplied by 9, and then that's added to 4, and that's the function. And you can see it's traced out in blue, and it has a vertical asymptote. This function actually represents something pretty interesting. It's a rough learning model of how many objects a factory worker can make after so many days. So on the first day, they're just learning how to do it. On the second day, they're getting a little bit better at it. And then by like day 7, they've reached the maximum that, a person can reasonably be expected to make in a given day. And so here we have some sliders, and we can move these around and see how the function changes. So let's see what happens when we change, say, this first term, this term 4, which is a. So let's move this down. We can see that this moves the entire function down. That means that the upper bound of learning is lowered, lower a is. And of course, the higher a is, the higher the upper bound goes. Let's see what happens when we change the variable b and hold everything else constant. Let's move that down. Again, our lower bound is lowered. If we raise it, the upper bound is raised. I hope you note at this point that the asymptote, the limit of this function as the days go on and on and on, which represents the upper limit of how many a person can make in a day, is equal to a plus b. And that's because as we have e to the negative x get larger and larger and larger as x gets larger, this term e to the negative x goes to 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm sorry, it goes to 0, and this term then just turns into 1. And we can also check c and see what happens there. And that kind of gives us our initial, learning curve. The smaller c is, the faster we tend to learn given a fixed upper limit. And then to interpret this chart, to read this chart, if you're not really sure what this green arrow means, on day 1, we can make about 4.5 objects, so we'll round that down, if you want to be pessimistic. And then on day 2, we're up to about 9.27, about 9 objects. And on day 3, we're up to about 11. Day 4, we're at 11.6, and then 11.86, 11.95, and we'll get ever closer to 12. And then, you figure probably by like day 6, you're basically at the maximum allowable limit. And that seems to hold for just about all these different variations here. So that's that. That's GeoGebra. It's a great program. I'm going to try and have this available for download on my website somewhere. Hope you're having a great day.